Impact velocity 890 feet per second. It's the recovery of the Hornady Critical Defense Lite. It's a 90 grain 38 special load in standard pressure. That right there is the start of expansion. It's got that nice triangle feature. Coming out of that, you can see the permanent wound channel running right down the center. These stretch wings running off top and bottom. It's actually running off in 360 degrees, but it just looks like it's top and bottom because we're using a 2D camera here to show you what's going on. Stretch cavity starts to skinny out as the energy dies off. There wasn't a lot of debris in the wound channel, that's why I'm skipping the white background, just going for the black. What debris is visible is very visible. That's a piece of our t-shirt fabric that was dragged quite a bit into the block. Wound channel, again, gets thinner and thinner as the bullet runs out of energy. This is our bullet. There's our pink tip. You can see that the bullet progressed and then pulled back just a little bit. And those appear to be petals pulled back against the bullet shank. We're looking at the bottom of the block. So the final orientation of the bullet turned about 45 degrees to the right and nosed down. Just a tiny amount. So we'll pull the bullet, weigh it up after we get some final measurements. Okay, with our ruler up, we can see that stretch feature where the expansion first starts happens less than a half an inch into the block. Permanent wound channel running right down the center where the pointer tip is. Stretch wings no more than 3/4 of an inch from top to bottom at their maximum. And then I mentioned the stretch cavity starts to get skinny. That actually happens at inch 3. By inch 6, the stretch cavity is about gone. All you've got now is the permanent damage left in the block. Our little piece of t-shirt material, we dropped at about inch 8 1/4. And we've finally come to our bullet. I'm going to give it credit for 10 inches. You can see that it went to 10 1/4 and then bounced back 1/4 of an inch. We've got to play them where they lay, and this one is 10 inches to the very front corner of that farthest petal. So now we'll take a look at the second shot, which was through the 4 layers of denim. We're back taking a look at the Critical Defense Lite. This was the 4-layer of denim test shot. You notice in the t-shirt shot we had that nice little triangle indicating expansion. We do not have that. What we've got is stretch damage. So basically, actually the stretch wings don't look as big, which would make sense if we didn't have expansion. And expansion we did not get. What we got was a tumble. See how the wound channel right in this area gets very thick? That's the bullet actually doing a rotation. We're looking at the bottom of the block again, so the bullet actually had a lateral spin. This very impressive feature here is when a bullet tumbles, it really messes up the gel block. I believe it tears it. Sometimes it actually causes the gel to melt, and that's what you see there. What's interesting is how much of that damage is below versus above, and that could just be the shape of the bullet, but we won't know. But again, very broad, permanent damage right through this area. And we go on down. Wound channel, primarily just stretch energy damage. If you looked at the high-speed footage really closely, maybe looked at it in high definition, you'll actually see the bullet progress out of the 16-inch block. There was a clear space, and then I had a block of sim test, believe it or not. I just happened to have it on hand, and it was cold enough to use it. You can actually see the bullet impact the sim test block that was behind the clear ballistics block. So it was a complete pass-through. And here's our bullet that was recovered from the sim test. No expansion to speak of at all, aside from some light charring from its trip through the bore of the Ruger LCR. It's almost a perfect bullet, ready to be loaded and shot again. Not that we would ever do that, but absolutely no indication of any expansion at all. I don't even see any stress on these cuts. So we'll weigh this and measure it and come up with our final stats. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you like the channel, go ahead and subscribe.